Welcome folks to the 4th edition of our backyard smoking sessions with my Butcher's Block and Meat Ranger. And as per our previous smoking sessions, we've paired up with a local butcher, this time around Dylan and his team from Bull and Bush Meat Merchants in Johannesburg. And look at this whopping 8 kilogram Wagyu Beef Short Rib. Processing this amazing piece of meat was a lot of fun and nothing will go to waste. All this additional fat that we've trimmed off will be kept one side and made into a nice beef lard. Now, moving on to your Weber, folks. The Weber setup for this indirect smoking session is vital. And have a look-see what I've done here to ensure that when you do this in your own backyard, you maximize that smoking effect. The idea here is that the air that passes through your Weber passes directly past the lumpwood charcoal, which is housing those wood chippings. So what I did here is I created a barrier for this air to move underneath that grid, through the charcoal, through the chippings and over onto the meat and then out through the top vent. For today's smoking session, we're making use of my Butcher's Block Walnut wood shavings and my go-to lumpwood charcoal cue, the barbecue. Now that we have our heat source on the go and our wood shavings are soaking in water, let's head on over for the final prep of our Wagyu Beef Short Rib. Wagyu beef is generally packed full of flavor, so you making use of a binder, I gave this piece of meat a light dusting of Worcestershire salt. Our beef short rib is now ready for its indirect smoking session, so I grabbed 2 decent handfuls of wet wood shavings, place them over the coals, close the lid, let them smolder for a while, and then we place our meat directly above the water tray. Making use of my meat thermometer, my meter maid, we need to ensure that our internal temperature target is 95 degrees, and this is going to be done over a period of 6.5 hours. Our ambient temperature needs to hover around 110 to 120 degrees, spritzing every 2 hours. Greetings. Okay, so we've lit the fire. The Bull and Bush Wagyu Short Rib has been going for about 4.5 hours. It's got another 2 hours to go. Then I'm going to wrap it for 30 minutes. It doesn't need any longer wrapping than that because those juices are already in there. Then let's have a little bit of a look. The fire is for the sauteed mushrooms, garlic mushrooms, the corn on the cob, and I'm adding a little bit of a Capri salad with it. But let's have a peek at how our rib is doing. Look at that bark, folks. Look at that bark. And the barbecue lumpwood is still going strong. Look at that bark, guys. Oh man, let's close that. After 6.5 hours, we reached the internal desired temperature of 95 degrees. We wrapped this in a double tin foil, heavy duty tin foil, and set it one side to rest for about half an hour to 45 minutes. Heading on over to our open fire where we prep our mushrooms and our corn on the cob, and we are now ready to carve into this amazing piece of meat. And wow, folks, could not have asked for a better outcome. Look at that amazing juices dripping out of there, that classical smoke ring around the edges of that rib. Folks, yeah, no, the flavors emanating from this braai and this smoking session were amazing. As always, we've got to wash this down with a craft beer, and with today's pairing we use Saggy Stone's Pale Ale, which went down perfectly. Folks, just a massive thanks to Bull and Bush for supplying this amazing piece of meat, to my Butcher's Block and their wood shavings, their walnut wood shavings, as well as to Cue the Barbecue for putting this together today.